Here we go. All right, so happy to have you on. Let me just adjust this real quick. I am excited to have you all here. Maybe I should move this for a second and come back to you. All right, so let's start. Whoops, let's start with some fundamentals. Thank you. All right, let's start with some fundamentals and then we'll get into it. Hold on. See, that's how we know how to film it. It's all right. Okay, well, here we go. All right, let us start real quickly. And welcome to my vision board course. Welcome to it. Let me just get myself organized here. Wanted to just kind of have you turn to the book of Genesis chapter 15. Genesis chapter 15. So I wanted to make sure that we have, both a biblical and a scientific background for it, for us to understand what we are doing. So I'm so happy again to see you all. Thank you all for coming. And 2023 definitely can be something different, or your new year can be different. Whatever it is and wherever stage of life you're in, you definitely are able to improve it based on the vision board. Now, I've been doing vision boarding for almost 25 years or more. And I really do believe that it is absolutely a major key in making sure that our dreams and our goals get manifested, right? So wanting to give you a little bit of background on it. And you can always post your comments. If you can't hear me, if you can't see me, thank you for your thumbs up. Appreciate it. Clap, clap, clap. All right. So I became very conscious that I had a vision or goal for my life when I was about 8. That's the first conscious memory I have of actually having a vision or a goal or a dream. All right. So this is kind of what had happened. After my parents had divorced, I was sent to live with my mom. And at the time, my dad paid for private school. So we were living in this really rich area called Cherry Gardens. And we used to live in this other area called New Kingston, which was kind of like downtown Dallas, or like a downtown area, but kind of, really good area, but kind of, not downtown, right? So I went to live with my mom, and we were going to this school. Not this private school, was a Jewish school, and ambassadors' children were there. The children had drivers picking them up, and a lot of just that kind of exposure that I wasn't necessarily used to doing. However, within about 2 years or so, my mom was on drugs, but I wasn't aware she was on drugs, and so we ended up having to move. So when we moved all sorts of different places. Sometimes I was with my dad, sometimes I was with my mom, back and forth. Well, there came a time where I had to be with my mom in Trenchtown. And living in Trenchtown now was what we would call in Jamaica the ghetto, right? So it was, you have uptown, and you have kind of like New Kingston, which is kind of where my dad was, and then you have downtown. And downtown is just a whole different vibe. So I became very conscious there without the, commodities of just free running water, and going to that Jewish school and then coming back into this situation were very, very different. It was there that I had decided I want to one day build a school in Jamaica for people in Trenchtown, because I see myself as part of that community, and I did not have the same level of school, the same level of education offered to me, even though I was going to this other school and leaving Trenchtown, coming back to it. That's when I really remember having a clear, intentional vision for my life. I didn't know God or anything, but I had a desire that I needed to change something. Something here needed to change. And I don't know when or where for you began to have this desire of more, of different, of something else. It could be really small when you were a kid like I was, and just different things. I mean, a lot of the driving force of my grit and my desire to be successful are two things. One, I've been on the other side and I refuse to go back. I don't want to be hungry anymore. I don't want to be without lights. I don't want to be without water. I don't want to be in that state. And the second thing is, I don't want other people to be in that place either. So because I don't want other people to be in that place either, there is something that drives me to do better so I can help other people not get into the place I was, if that makes sense. So you think of a time where you actually thought to yourself, you know what? I don't want to be in this place. I have to do something different. Whether it was happening to you, you happened to it, or it happened around you, there has to be a place. So hold that in your mind, because as life goes on, different things comes to beat us up and beat us down, and we forget those dreams, we forget those intentions, we forget those things. And a vision board will absolutely help you get back into space. So that is kind of my background of remembering the first time I actually had a vision. And in having a vision, now I had to learn how to bring that vision to pass. And now looking back, there's been one constant. I've always had a vision board going into the new year, going into the next season, and it was something I updated along the line. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the biblical background for vision boarding. Talk about kind of a little bit of the science behind it, not too long, because we are going to jump quickly into how you do it, how it works, and boom, that's where we're going tonight. All right, so number one, the biblical and scientific argument behind it. Let us go to Genesis chapter 15. Genesis 15, verse 1. Genesis 15, 1, if you're on here. All right, here we go. You ready? This is the King James Version. This is the King James Version. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision. God is a God of vision. God is a God of vision. You and I have to have vision for our life, right? After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what will you give me? Seeing, so the first word is vision. The second word is seeing, I go childless. And the steward of my house is Eliezer of Damascus. What are you going to give me? Can't you see? Look at the evidence. There's nothing here for me. What is my reward? Verse 3. And Abram said, Behold, look at him. You have not given me any seed. And lo, no one is born in my house that is mine heir. Verse 4. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, That is not going to be your heir, Abram. That's not how you're going to get a son. That's not how you're going to do this. He said this, But he that comes forth from your own bowels, he shall be your heir. And God brought him forth outside and said, Look towards the heaven and tell the stars, if you are able to count them. And he said, So shall your seed be. Verse 6. And Abram believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. I want to dissect that a second, because a lot of times we don't know if God is really involved in our vision. Well, number one, God is a God of vision. We understand that God is a God of vision, and he's a God that likes to plan, and he's a God of order. We see this from the beginning in Genesis, where he orders and he begins to plan, and he does certain things on certain days. He didn't just create every single thing, though he could, on one day. He broke that thing up and set it into different categories and began to do that. And then he decided he was going to rest. When? When did he rest? When the job was completed. Not that God gets tired, because he doesn't. So here we are. How do we break this down? 4 things that we learn in this process. 4 things. Oh, hi. Yes. 4 things that we learn in this process. Number 1, I love for you to write notes. Make sure you're writing notes. Put hearts or snaps in the comment. Listen, here we go. Number 1, Abram evaluated his current state and he made a determination. This is where a lot of times we get stuck. We see the evidence that is there and we make a determination that he did not have enough and it was not possible. Based on the evidence in front of him, it was not possible. And we get stuck right there. Based on the evidence in front of me, it's not possible. I have determined there is no heir for me. The only thing I see is Eliezer. Am I going to get a son through him? Number 2, Abram deflected. So 1, he made a determination. 2, he deflected. He deflected from his personal responsibility in this process. He said, God, you didn't give me any seed. God, you are not the one that's doing this. God. And a lot of times when we are very disappointed and we're very frustrated, we will deflect from our part in the process and we want to cast it onto somebody and some things. Sometimes we put it onto God. Why did you make that happen? Why is this not happening? We don't really come down and say, is there something that I can do to accelerate this process, to make this process work? All he kept looking at was the evidence, and he determined it wasn't good enough. Number two, based on his determination, he then began to deflect. You know what? It can't be me. It must be you, God. This is what we have to change. We have to not just determine things based on where they are. We have to begin the process of using vision to determine where things need to be. Number three, God challenged that determination with a descriptive vision. God challenged that determination with a descriptive vision. Okay, he described the vision. He put him out there and said, can you count this? Look at this. It wasn't some haphazard, blind, vague vision. It was very clear. Can you count these? Try and count them. Because now he was activating some things in Abram, putting all his senses together and beginning to create a descriptive vision. Number four, because of the descriptive vision, Abraham now sees a different outcome based on that vision and makes a quality decision. I will believe. I will believe. So now everything in Abraham's life begins to move towards this new determination, this new decision versus what before. See, before he had already had a one mindset. Now, when God gets on the scene and God gives him a very descriptive vision, that what? Vision with his eyes. He didn't just audibly tell him. He said, look, because Abraham was saying, no, you look. Look at this. There's nothing up here. And God said, no, let me give you a different set of eyes. Let me show you something visually where I see you so you can elevate yourself to that position. So here we are. 1 Corinthians 2:14 says this. The natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they're stupid or foolishness to him. And he's not able to understand them because they're spiritually discerned. A vision board may not make sense to you because you're thinking, well, we're just doing this and cutting out some pictures. How is that going to help? It may not make sense to you because you're looking at your determination. But if you can get into the flow of the process of a vision board and understand that it defies your determination, then you have something to work with. You will begin to make your natural senses yield to the supernatural and allow the brain the opportunity to defy the impossible. That is why we must do a vision board. What is Proverbs 28:19 tells us? Proverbs 28:19 says, listen, where there is no vision, the people are unrestrained. Where there's no vision, there is no boundaries. Where there's no vision, nobody knows where to go. Where there's no vision, you're just haphazardly traveling through life, just holding on to today and hoping you can make it tomorrow. That's it. You're just going to have very, very small energy for the very basic next thing because there is no vision. So there will be no vision, there's no discipline. Where there's no discipline, there cannot be no destination because destination requires certain direction and discipline to get there. Habakkuk number 2:2. Habakkuk chapter 2:2 says this. And the Lord said to me, write the vision. Write this down. Make it plain on tablets. So those that see it and read it can run. If you don't see where you're going, how will you know when you get there? If it's not clear, how can you put whatever is in place for you to make sure that you get there? So Habakkuk says, listen, God says, write this thing down. Make it very clear. Not vague, very clear, so that you yourself and anybody that comes on it can see it and run. Making sense? Last scripture for you before we move on. 1 Corinthians 2:9. But as it is written, what no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man, what God has prepared for those who love him. Here it is. Another translation says, nor the heart of man imagined. Wherever your imagination is, God has prepared things way above that. But if we cannot get you to even turn on your imagination to go ahead and see something different, how can God exceed what you refuse to see? Right? All right. So 10 reasons to make a board. Making sense? Making sense? Hi, Diane. Hi, Raisha. Making sense? All right. So make sure that you comment in here so I know what's happening. Hi, Althea. All right. 10 reasons to make a board. You ready? Number one, it creates boundaries. It creates a framework for your efforts to be guided by. It's like a roadmap. I want to get there, and I'm seeing that I want to get there. Hi, Wendy. That's what your vision board is doing. It is putting up ideas for you to use. Number two, it provides motivation and inspiration. It provides motivation and inspiration. Number three, the brain responds to images 60,000 times faster than it does to text. And 80% or more of your brain is thinking in pictures. You see in images first. You don't see in text. You see in images. So if I say to you, there is a pink elephant outside, you don't see the words pink elephant outside. You actually visualize a pink elephant. You see, I audibly said something to you with my words, but your brain translated that into an image. Well, we need the brain because the brain is the epicenter of our will, mind, emotions. It's the decision-making center. It is what is going to set in motion the next task, the next motivation, the next excitement. It's in the brain. So we have to work with the brain so the brain can help propel us to where we want to go. So it provides motivation and inspiration. It responds to visuals 60,000 times faster. Number four, it turns on the value tagging system in the brain. And this is where the brain just begins to prioritize. It just prioritizes whatever is in front of me is what I'm going to do. All right. So you know that to be true. Whatever is on your mind at that time is what you're going to do. So if you're saying, I'm looking for my car keys, I'm looking for my car keys, I'm looking for my car keys, you're looking for your car keys. You go into the car and you go, oh my gosh, I forgot to get this off the counter. I forgot to get that off the counter. Why? You had a visual. Where are the car keys? Where are the car keys? And your brain began to find solutions only for the car keys. It did not commit as urgent to bring the food. It didn't bring as urgent to pack up the raincoat. It didn't put that as urgent because you told it, I need the car keys. When you put a vision board in place, you're signaling to the brain, get this, get this, get this. This is important. This is important. Move toward this. Move towards this. That's what it does. It begins to turn on the value tagging system saying, that's more important than this. That's what happened to Abraham. When God showed him the image, he said, that visual, that's more important. That is going to impact all of mankind. Where I was is not as important. So brain, switch off of that, believe this, and move towards this. And as we know, Abraham had Isaac. If you didn't know, Abraham didn't have a son. He's called the father of faith. All right. So number 5, it makes you intentional. And because you're more intentional, you're more productive. You're more productive because you're intending to do something. All your energies and efforts are now going towards what you've intended. So you're more productive. You're not playing around, right? Number 6, it puts in motion the law of agreement. Now, I love this. It puts in motion the law of agreement. And these are my definitions, this is not Google. It is my law of agreement means whatever you agree with becomes your reality. Whatever you make a covenant with becomes your change. So whatever you are agreeing with, here is the law of agreement. Where 2 or 3 agree, it shall be done. The problem is many of us disagree with our own self. So we can't accomplish anything because we're in disagreement with our own self. Our brain says, yes, get up and work. Or our heart says, get up and work. And our brain says, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. Your heart says, but your bills need paying. Your brain says, whew, what another day. I can wait another day. Your heart says, make sure that you go and pick this up and so that it will help your kids and they won't be embarrassed at school because they have the right stuff. Your brain says, oh, they'll be all right. Calculate. So your brain is always going to negotiate the easy road. Your mind is going to want to be lazy. Even if your heart We call it the spirit. If the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. So your heart is saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. We can do this. We've got to do this. We want more. We want better. We want different. And your brain goes, oh, what kind of effort is that? What is it going to cost me? Am I ready? Oh, I can't be bothered. So when you have a vision board, it begins to put in the law of agreement. I am agreeing with myself. I'm going after this because I've taken the time to build this. I've taken the time to construct this. I've taken the time to do this. So because I am doing that in physical thing, it is turning on all sorts of agreements within myself, and I am agreeing. So you have to break up with bad patterns, break up with bad thoughts, break up with bad ways of doing things, and stop negotiating yourself out of it. And one of the ways to help yourself get into agreement is to see where you want to go. You have to take the time to actually see where you want to go and come into agreement. I will do this. I can do that. Turns on the law of agreement. Number 7, it puts in motion the law of attraction. What is the law of attraction? Whatever you focus on your energy, you focus your energy on, comes to you. Okay? Wherever you focus your energy on, comes to you. Okay? If you want Bible for it, the book of Job says this. Job said, what I have feared has come upon me. What I was scared of the most has come upon me, because that is what I meditated on. That is what I was scared of. That is what I kept thinking of. And so because of that, I attracted it to me. I was thinking all these blessings are going to leave me, and boom, there it went. Whatever you think on the most is going to come to you. So if you keep thinking, oh my goodness, I'm always going to be here. I don't have the education. I don't have what it takes. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if it will work. I don't know if the connection is going to come through. I don't know if that sponsorship will work. If you keep thinking that, then of course, you're right. It's going to attract exactly that. But if you think, no, I can live in prosperity. I can live in health. I can live in peace. I can have calm in my relationship. I can have calm in myself. I can sleep through the night. I can. When you begin to do that, you begin to automatically attract those things to you. Number 9, it helps you to focus. Chinese proverb, you can't run after 2 rabbits at the same time and catch them. One is going to get away. So you begin to focus when you have a vision board. Number 10, I like this part. It builds exposure and desire. It builds exposure and desire. Whenever you create exposure in your life, you open up and expand your capacity for faith, your capacity to believe, your capacity, your imagination gets turned on. And whatever you get exposed to, it can turn a desire on. And when you have a desire, then you'll begin to be determined to move towards it. Got it making sense so far? We got a lot to go, but we're going to do it quickly. All right? How is it going? How is it going? Is it making sense so far to you? You understand? All right. Number 8 again. Raisha, let us read this over for you. 10 reasons to make a board. Number 1, it creates boundaries, a framework for your efforts to be guided by. Number 2, it provides motivation and inspiration. Number 3, the brain responds to visuals 60,000 times faster than it does to text. Number 4, it turns on the value tagging system in the brain to find and move towards opportunity. Number 5, it makes you intentional, therefore more productive. Number 6, it puts in motion the law of agreement. What you agree with becomes your reality. Can 2 walk together? Lest they agree. Please be in agreement with yourself so you can walk. Number 7, puts in motion the law of attraction. What you focus your energy on will come to you. Number 9, it helps you to focus. Number 10, it builds exposure and desire. All right? Cool. All right. Here we go. Here's some things that you need for your board. Here's some things that you need for your board. 1, you need a board, like-minded, or you can use construction paper. So you can use a, board, construction paper. You can do a Pinterest account. You can get a journal that just has blank pages, note cards. It doesn't matter. Anything that can create a visual for you. Visual, right? We're not doing an audio board. We're doing a visual board, right? You can call it faith board. I like it as a faith board or even action board, whichever one you want to use. Vision board. There's still one missing from the 10. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, you are right, 9. Okay, well, we have 9 instead of 10, unless you want me to make up another one on the spot. Thank you, Sandra. Can I post a list? I can post a list for you. All right. Number 10, it's fun. How about we make that number 10? It's fun. It turns on your creativity. And when you turn on your creativity, it actually makes you more childlike. And childlikeness puts you back in faith. Number 11, it turns on the activation system. It's the RAS system in the brain, which causes you to filter out unnecessary information and begins to make you harvest important information. It's called the reticular activation system. Reticular activation system. So write that down for me, Raisha, and message me. Raisha is one of my students, and so she has my number. So make sure you send it to me, and I'll update this to you for 10. Right, the RAS system and the creativity. All right, ready for things you need for your board? Back at it. You need a journal, construction paper, Pinterest account, a board, or anything like that. Got it? Number 2, you need magazines, images of what you would like to see, possess, or achieve. All right? What is it that you want to see? Now, sometimes people argue and say, well, you can't make it about money and things. I'm not making it about money. I'm making it about visuals. God is a visual God. The world could be totally imaginary. It's up to him. But he says in Corinthians, you need to bring the things that are not seen and make them seen. So he believes in bringing the intangible into a physical thing. All of what he was creating, he said it, and then it became a thing. It was invisible, it was intangible, but it became visible, visual and tangible. So God is into vision. You need magazines and stuff. So those things just create and spur you on and encourage you. And you don't try to imitate. You try to be inspired by. You look at it as, I would like to try that. Or I would like to do that. Or maybe that would be a great experience. Or you find a why that's big enough. So you cut out magazines and images to help spur your creativity, because some of you sometimes get really low and really in the dumps and your endorphins are turned off. And one way to turn on your endorphins is exposure. Right? Exposure. Number 3, you're going to get text that inspires or quotes that motivate you. You can make them up, or you can borrow some, or you can Google them. Either way, give you some words. Words are important. Words are spirit and words are life. So you want some words on there as well, but make it a lot more visual. You need craft supplies, or if you're doing a digital board, then you don't need that. You need an unedited mindset. What's an unedited mindset? No edits. Just go for it. You get it, and then you decide later on. But in the beginning, I don't know. Just allow your brain to enjoy the process and just cut out things and do things. Just enjoy the flow. And then you can come back up and clean it up later. But some of you are so perfectionistic and so, I want it to be right. And am I doing it right? And this is not a pass or fail. You're not getting an A+ or a fail. Nobody's demoting you, and you don't have to repeat class. So you don't have to go with that perfect mindset. Just allow your brain to attract itself to what it desires. Number whatever. Here we go. A clear space that you will be able to see your board daily. You need a clear space. If it's in your closet, if it's on your mirror, if it's by your door on the way out, if it's in your laundry room, in your kitchen, find somewhere you're going to see this every day. As a matter of fact, some of you can put it right there in your toilet, right on the wall ahead. So somehow I hope that you go to the restroom long enough you can meditate on that. Instead of sitting down there and playing on your phone, words with friends, or whatever else you're doing, that's a great spot. Put it right there. Wherever you're going to be, make sure that you can see this board every single day. Right? Distraction-free time to make it. So you don't want to do it when you have a whole lot of responsibilities. Just take the time out and do it. Trust me on this. Doing the work up front helps you having to do the work later. Just make the time. I don't have the time. You do have the time. I'm telling you, you have the time. Wake up an hour earlier, you have the time. Now, here's my big power tool. When your things that you need for your vision board, the biggest tool you need is a limited mindset, your imagination. Imagination is very powerful, right? He will do exceedingly abundantly above all you ask, think, or imagine. So you want to tap into a limitless mindset. All right. You ready to move on? You ready to move on? Yes, bathroom, Sandra. I'm telling you, hopefully y'all are in there long enough to meditate on it. Are you ready to move on? We're moving on. Here we go. How to structure your board. How to structure your board. All right. So as you saw in the very beginning, I had an epic moment where my board fell on me. So we're not, so half of the stuff is not on there, but we're going to work with it. All right. I will reassemble it as time, and I have different boards. So here we go. How to structure your board. Short-term goals. That's one option. Short-term goals, 30, short-term goals, 30, 60, 90 days to a year. That would be considered short-term. Another way is long-term goals, 3 to 5 years, wider impact, right? You can use a SMART system, the SMART goal system. Number 3, you can use categories, right? You can divide it by topic, health, spiritual, personal, romantic, whatever. Or you can divide it by passions or have tos. I must do this, I must do that, whatever. Or you can use the way I do it, there's not a standard way to do it, but I call it the Imagine More way. It's a combination of all of them. So I will have a board that has short terms, things that I'm working on. And so I have a board that has just the month. I have a board that has the year. And I have a board that has the 90 days. I know it's a lot of boards, but I need to be visually stimulated to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. So on my 30-day board, it may have the goals, the monies that I need to make. It may have the service that I want to do, how many people I want to touch. It may have what I want to increase my social media by in 30 days. It may have, how much involvement I want to be at my child's school. It want, anything like that, 30 days that is reasonable that I can do. You have the 90 days and what I want to do within 90 days. All right. So within 90 days, I want to make sure I cut down my body fat by this amount of percent. I want to make sure that I can run 15 minutes. What do you want in 90 days? Right. All of my systems are based on 90-day programs because I find that be most effective versus very long. The longer you wait, I feel like you get discouraged along the way. But if you can have a monthly goal, if you can have a 90-day goal, it's easier to see yourself making that progress, and you're going to be able to pat yourself on the back because you see progress happening, right? So both short and long-term goals, the big board for me with the long-term goals is anything I'm thinking of, anything that just makes, I just stick it on there. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't have a timeline on it, but it's something I want to do. Case in point. If you follow me on Instagram, you found out that I went to Hawaii this year. But I had a major vision board, and on that very big vision board was a picture of Disney when it first opened. It was called the Alani Resort. And when they first opened, I wanted to go there, and I wanted to take my daughter. She was a kid. She was like 5 years old, maybe 6 or 7 at the latest or the oldest, when she saw that on there, because my vision board includes things I want to do for them, things I want to do for my parents, just includes anything. And she saw that. Here it is now, 15, 17 years later or so, she ends up working at this place, and they give her a free Hawaii vacation to Disney Alani Resort, and she can invite 2 people. And who does she invite? Me and her brother. So I had that on my vision board. That was my long-term vision board. I was not actively pursuing it, but it was on there. My brain remembered it, and her brain got triggered onto it. And because we were in agreement, it came to us. We paid nothing. We just showed up. Make sense? But there are other things that I intentionally work towards. So if I work towards a particular thing and a short-term goal, and I'm focused on it, I find that I accomplish it. All right. I will have main categories. The vision board in the Imagine More way has no more than 3 to 5 main categories on the short term. On the short-term goals, your 90 days and under, no more than 3 categories. No more than 3 categories. It's too much. You're going to get discouraged. I can't do my fitness. I can't do my job. I can't be a parent. I can't be a wife. I can't be a mother. I can't be a son. I can't be a dad. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. 3 is the magic number. No more than 5 for you overachievers. All right, 3 to 5. All right, and the board must be a little bit beyond realistic, but not too much. The big board, listen, put your castle in the sky, put your 6 jets on there, listen, all of that. But on your 90-day board, just a little above realistic. A little above realistic. That's where you're going to calculate the faith section. But you have to make sure that you also have some kind of practical steps and involvement in there, right? Make sense? All right, we're moving on. We're moving on. Let me see in the comments what you got. Making sense? Hope so. We're almost done. So I'm going to need you to make sure that you are paying attention, right? Stretch goals, right? Terry says stretch, right? So what I'm able to do, all right, so for example, I go to the gym. I don't challenge myself in the gym because one, I don't even like going to the gym. But then I got motivated today because I saw Lionel Messi, and he's only 5'7". He's my height. Well, he don't weigh that much more than me. But how? How is that? Because what? He's running up and down. And he's challenging himself. I go to the gym to make sure that my bones are strong. But am I challenging myself so my bones can be stronger? No. I am just maintaining. I'm not improving. So I got motivated by him today, and I said, you know what? If I normally, press, I think on my legs, I press maybe 85. Sometimes I leg raise, and sometimes 140 on something else. All right, I'm going to have to increase that. So no, a little bit more than realistic for me is making sure that by the end of 30 days, for me, that may be increasing by 10 pounds overall. Because I don't want to do it at all. So you see, I can work towards it, and then Lord help me. Or I'm believing for an opportunity. I can send out 10 different envelopes, and maybe somebody knows somebody who turns on something else. So the realistic part is me doing my part. The faith part and the God part is the parts that you can't calculate, but you got to do your part. So you plan for the worst, you believe for the best. But when you're doing a vision board, make sure it stretches you a little bit and it pushes you a little bit further than where you are. All right. Okay. So how to do it the Imagine More way. This is how I do it. This is how we do it. You ready? Here we do it. 90 days. I explained all the different ways you could do it and how I do it, but I'm giving you the 90-day strategy. 90-day strategy. Got it? 90 days. Number 2, strong visuals that affirm and motivate. Affirm and motivate. Affirm and motivate. Number 3, imagine where you will be in 90 days. What will I feel like when my bones are stronger, my body fat is lower, and I'm not afraid of falling down and going, oh my gosh, I've fallen and I can't get up. Imagine how I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel more powerful. I'm going to feel like, whoa, I'm going to be strong for my grandchildren. I can just see myself taking them to Six Flags and pushing them on the rides because I'm not riding, and I can walk all day because of what I'm doing now in my 90 days. Is going to set me up for my next 90 days, and it's setting me up for my next 90 days. I set me up for the next 10 years, right? So what am I going to feel like? How accomplished am I going to feel? How good am I going to feel? That's what I do. You imagine where you're going to be. You have a second board for the long board, right? Happy visual, feel goods, those things just excite you. You include a daily review of that board. That's why I said you could put in the restroom if you want to, or wherever you want to. 1 minute to 2 minutes, you're staring at that board before you start your day and stuff. After you do your prayers, your whatever your routine is, before you really get into work and get into the car to drop kids off and get into the motion of stuff, look at that. It's the art of meditation. The Bible says, meditate day and night. Meditate upon my law. Meditate, mull it over, chew on it, recycle it, make it sit there, make it get into your heart. Meditate, right? 2 minutes, a minute to 2 minutes, just sit there and just look at it and feel that thing. Get into it. Yes, like, cut your face out and put on the face of wherever. You want to go get an award, put your face up on there. Right? So include a daily review. Allow yourself for shifts. You may look at your board and you can change things. It's a board. You can take things off and go, you know what? I'm not feeling that anymore. Take it off. You're going to have a daily affirmation. When you're in my course, the thing that I let them say is, show me how much better it can get. That's what everybody must say across the board. Every day, God, show me how much better it can get. Show me how much better. If you don't believe in God, the universe, Buddha, whoever it is, show me how much better it can get. But we believe in God over here. So we say, Lord, show us how much better it can get. All right? That's one of the affirmations. You can build on that, but that's what I require them to say. Show me how much better it can get. Why? Because just the word better makes you feel better. Right? All right. Last one is daily meditation. Right? So here it is. You have your board, you're building your board, you're creating your board, you see your board, you're looking at it for 2 minutes, you're thinking about it, and you're declaring, show me how much better it can get. As I go through this door, I thank you that everything is attracted to me, the right people, the right resources, the right connections that are necessary for me to fulfill this vision, for me to fulfill this calling, for me to fulfill this purpose. They are coming to me. They are attracted to me. They want to find me. They are hunting me down. Just like goodness and mercy are trying to find me and overtake me. Lord, I thank you that people are looking for me left, right, and center. My name is on their lips. My name is coming up in conversations for them to bless me and help me get this intention to pass. However you want to create your affirmation, you create your affirmation. And you sit there and you stew in it and you feel it. All right? Once you begin the process of boarding or vision boarding, your expectation level is going to increase. Your excitement is going to increase. Your acceleration is going to increase. Your motivation is going to kick in, and your natural brain will begin on its own to start creating solutions. Because see, that's what you're saying to your brain. This is what we want. This is what you want. And so your brain is going, that's what we want. That's what we want. Oh, that's what we want. Okay. Yes, Sarah, that's what we want. So my brain, when I am feeling low and I am feeling anxious and I don't know how it's going to work, my brain goes, but that's not what we want. We don't want that. We don't want these feelings. We don't like feeling depressed. We don't like feeling low. We don't like feeling like we're stuck. So my vision board has trained my brain that when now I am feeling those things, regret, shame, anger, frustration, any of those things, my brain is going, it's kicking it back. It's going, no, we don't want that. No, Sarah, no. But if I stay on that long enough, that I will train my brain to go, that's what we like. We like feeling bad. We like feeling sad. And now you see the covers start going over your head and you just, oh, I just can't make it today. I just don't want to. And before you know it, 1 hour turned into 3, 3 hours turned into 4, 4 hours turned into a day turned into a week, and you're no further along because we trained our brain to like what we didn't really want. So we have to determine what we want. When Jesus spoke to the fig tree, he didn't tell him what he didn't want. He told it what he wanted. You're going to dry up. You don't have any fruit and you're going to dry up. That's what I want. I want you to dry up. He didn't say, well, you know what? It'd be nice if you had some fruit. Maybe you should dry up. Maybe you should. No, he declared what he wanted and he got what he wanted. So whatever you're going to declare, you will have what you say. And you have to say to your brain, this is what we want. When you train your brain enough, then it's not going to like the others. It's not going to like feeling distressed and so on. I'm not saying you're not going to have those moments. I'm saying your brain's going to say, we don't want that. But you've got to retrain it. Okay? Say renewing the mind. Renew the mind through scripture. We retrain the brain through visuals. We retrain the brain through discipline. Make sense? All right. So once it happens supernaturally, something magical just happens once that happens. You don't even have to take care of it. After that, things just start going into motion on your behalf. If you're not a Christian believer on here, I am a Christian believer. And so my framework is coming from that. I have been exposed to a lot of different religions as I was raised Rastafarian. My mom was Chinese. So we had Chinese mythology. I went to a private Jewish school. And I know about the I Ching, Baha'u'llah, Mormonism. There's a lot of different religions and things I was exposed to and was involved in one point or another. But I am a born again believer because of what my experience is with Jesus Christ, right? And I'm saying that because a lot of these things are referring to a lot of spiritual things that may not make sense to you. And I'm needing to let you know why my framework is that way. So when we declare something, when we say something, the Bible in the book of Psalms says this, that angels go on the word, they go on his command. When we declare, when we say something, we have spiritual forces, we have things that are moving on our behalf. So whatever we are saying, we're activating things. And that's my point. Whether you believe in it or not, whether there are angels moving on your side or not, the fact is, the truth is, words are spiritual. Words have sonar power in there, and they do create things. They are vehicles for things to happen. If somebody comes to you and says to you, you ugly, trifling, no good for nothing, da da da, and start talking to you over and over and over, and start saying that same narrative to you, your body is going to begin to respond to that in a negative way, and you're going to begin to feel that. And if you're not careful, you will absorb it, unless you have an alternate belief system on the inside of you that says, I don't believe that, I refuse that. You will by nature absorb it, whether you're a believer or not. The fact is, sticks and stones will break your bones. And when it comes to vision, when it comes to activating vision in your life and accelerating things in your life, you have to carefully watch what you're saying about your own life and about your own vision. So you don't have to be a believer, but you have to know that that is just a law. God or not, there are principles in place that just work. That is why your words are so important. I'm pushing you to understand, when you put this out in the atmosphere, when you put this vision board together, this faith board, this action board, and you begin to come into agreement with it, mind, soul, and body, it will come to pass. All right? Here's the thing. It helps you to aim, because if there's no aim, you're going to miss every shot. Okay, I have some assignments for you, and then I'm going to be done. I have some assignments to you. All right, y'all have me worked up here. Here are some questions to ask yourself. You ready? Number 1, what will I feel like when I achieve the things on my board? What am I going to feel like? So write that down. What am I going to feel like when I achieve the things on my board? Let me see if I can type that in. All right. Number 2, who will I have celebrating my achievements? Who am I going to call on when I have my celebration parties? Because you're going to celebrate along the way. So who will celebrate with me? Okay, got that? What is my personal declaration? What is my personal declaration? What is my declaration? You have to be careful what you're saying. It may be spelled wrong, but don't worry about it. And here's the big one. And then we're going to close. You ready? This one may take you a second. What negative thoughts and fears do I need to let go so I can move forward with my decided future? I am deciding to have a different future. So if I'm deciding to have a different future, what am I going to do with my present? What am I going to do with my past? I have to make a decision about them. I have to decide that the things that don't work for me from my past are not coming into the future. I have to decide that the mindsets and fears that I have currently are not going to serve my intended future. Because remember, I'm creating a different future. I'm creating a different future. So I have to know what is not going to work. And I need to write that down. What negative thoughts and fears am I letting go so I can move forward? It's like this. If I'm holding this paper and you're on the other end of it, and I'm saying, give this to me. Your future is saying, give this to me. You're doing this. So where are you going to be? Right here where you are. But if you let go, you're not taking it with you. It's staying in the other hand. It's staying where it's supposed to be, behind. Make sense? All right. Well, at this time, do you have any quick questions or comments before I do my closing? I'm so happy that you all came on here. and that you all are joining me for this. All right. Well, here we go. Let me give you 30 more seconds. Thank you very much. It was helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Well, so what will you do next? Here's the plan. You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I have the links there. Thank you very much, Wendy. Thank you very much, Raisha. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Giovannia, Sandra. So what's your next step? What's your next step? Your next step, every person you meet will say, I have a hope, I have a dream. I want to do something. I want to do great. I just don't want to do where I am. You know, they have things that they have in their heart, but they don't get there. Why? Because we as humans, there's some things that we like to do, okay? Number one, we love to be inspired, but we sure do not want to be accountable. Number two, we move towards pleasure and we run away from pain. Anything that is hard, that is why, okay, you know, when you're small and some of us got curious and decided to put our fingers through the light, through the fire on the candle, just to see what would happen. What does your hand automatically do when you touch flame? It moves back. Does it just stay in there? Oh, let me just feel this pain. I like it. That's not what you do. Your hand immediately moves away from something hot because it goes, that's hurtful. So you move away from the hard things. That's why the book of Corinthians says, listen, we have to buffet our body. We got to make our body do the hard things. We got to make ourselves do the hard things. So what is your next step? Your next step is you can have all the inspiration and you can do this board. But if you do not have some kind of accountability, if you don't have some kind of discipline, if you don't have to have some kind of concrete plan on how to get those things to happen, then it will just be an exercise in a board. And you want to make sure that you go beyond that. So you definitely can, I have different options for you. Number one, you can join one of my group courses. I have one starting January 3rd. That's like in 2 weeks. So you can join one of my group courses. I'll probably edit that, but you can join one of my group courses. Why? Because you have a community. It builds your community, it gives you friends, it gives you people that are moving at the same pace. And we spend weeks and weeks together, making sure that you have a straight plan, making sure that you get some of this stuff done and you get encouraged and all of that. So that's in January. I should have had the link for you, but I don't. It is, you'll have to find it on my Instagram and my Facebook as I post it, but it is imaginemoreacademy.com/ I think, start. I think it's start, START. All right. Or you can do one-on-one coaching with me. So I only take 10 people at a time, and some people are cycling out and some people are cycling in. So I only have a couple of spaces left, but you are free to join one of those one-on-one courses with me. And that's more, like a 90-day accountability. I'm in your face all the time, every time. And we work on things that are uniquely customized for you. Some people have spiritual goals. Some people want to learn prophetic things. Some people want to do businesses. Some people want to launch books. Some people want to launch speaking careers. There's all sorts of different things, but it's customizable to you. You're able to do that as well. You can contact me at 468-278. I think it's 4828. That you can contact me, or you just DM message me, or you can get me online and give me a message on Facebook. So make sure that you if you want to do one of those, you can. And of course, I have another free class coming up next week just on general, but I wanted to share this with you because it actually has helped my life. And I know sometimes we just see it, but sometimes we don't really get an understanding as to why it's helpful, a vision board, and how it could help you, and what's the biblical foundation behind it. Right? Where does the Bible play in this? And I wanted to share that. A lot of times I see, but I don't see a lot of scriptural teaching on it. And I wanted to do that. So, yes, thank you. So thank you, Dr. DuPont. So I have some of my students or clients or partners here that are doing the one-on-one program. And of course, again, it's whatever you would like to do and how it can encourage you. So make sure that you reach out to me. If there are any other questions or any other things, find me on the gram, find me on Facebook. Hopefully this was really helpful to you. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. You ready for the thing? This is your bonus. This part I'm going to definitely not have on the video. I'm just doing this for you. I'm just doing this for you. If you signed up and you gave me your email and you got my email, and you signed up and you not registered, it wasn't a register, but to have your email on that list, and you were here tonight, I will send you the entire document I taught from tonight, and you will have that, because I'm actually only keeping this recording up for 48 hours. Because after that, then those people who are not here, they will have to invest in themselves to get it. But for you, I am going to make sure that you have this entire 15-page document, and it has the questions I asked you for. The worksheet is in here. All right, so you'll get that tonight. So look forward to your email. And of course, I'm sorry, let me show you one of the things I have. This is important for you. Let's see. Okay, so on my vision board, no, not this lady. Where's my hot, sexy lady? You sure I'm here? I have an old lady. I shouldn't say old lady because she's not actually old, but I think she fell away. I do have a lady on here that was on my vision board. Is it on there? No, she's somewhere. She fell away. But anyway, there's this lady. She's 62 years old. And she's on TikTok and everywhere. And when I tell you this lady looks amazing, you can tell her bones are strong. And I just follow her. But I have a picture of her, like a blown up picture, big like this. I think when my board fell, it fell somewhere. But I do have her on here on my board. And I have doing it for my 62-year-old self. So I go to the gym, although I hate it, because in my mind, I want to be strong like her. You can just tell that her body is strong. So she looks healthy, right? So that's what I'm saying. Do things for you. Put those things in place, and hopefully, again, I'll see you in a class, or I'll see you in a group class in January, or I'll see you in a one-on-one. So I'd love to be a coach. I love doing this. I love discipling. I love helping people get where they need to get. And I feel like I am cut out for this. So make sure that you check your emails. Give me an hour, check your emails, and we'll get it done to you. But only going to be up here for 48 hours, and it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. Oh, David, hello. Don't you love when men come on here? I feel like I should give you a trophy. All right, God bless you. Any other comments or anything? Okay, where do you give the email address? All right, here's what you're going to do. If you give me like 1 minute, I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me just grab my phone. Don't move. Do not move. All right, here I am. Let me give you the links. Okay, here's the lady I was telling you about. You see? Tell me nothing but no 60 years old. You kidding? All right, I'm going to put these in the chat for you. These different links. All right. So here's where you can sign up, because when you sign up, when you get the email, you get a free chapter of a book I'm writing, as well, called Imagine More. So I'm going to give you that link first. When you sign up for the free chapter, it gives me your email. So that's the one you're going to do. You can stop at any time. You can stop. I'm sorry. So those of you who have just to endure with me a second here, I just want to make sure that you have these. All right. This one is where you're going to submit your email. Okay. ImagineMoreAcademy.com 2023/. All right. This one is All right, this one is going to be the, this is for the group class that's starting in January. Let me make sure that it's right. All right. And then this one is if you want to talk about doing a one-on-one and you want to, then you can set up a consult with me. We figure out what it is that you really want to do and how we're going to get it done. This is that one. All right. There you've got all the links. Hopefully I spelled that right. So you can schedule there. Hopefully those came across. Yes. Imagine More Academy, imaginemoreacademy.com / yes. All right. Okay. Sounds good? I don't know why I did that. That was weird. All right. Well, with that, thank you all so much for joining me. If you don't have any more questions, any questions before I go? Because we'll stop recording on the other one. But like I said, I'll keep this up for a couple of days and then that's it. So make sure that you do that, do sign up, and I'm going to send you this document because like I said, I'm going to, once I pull it down, then people will have to invest financially to get this class. But I feel like you all were the ones who sacrificed your time, came and visited me. I'm going to give it to you. So I'm excited about it. All right. Sounds good. Here it is. Here's the entire packet. Okay, God bless you so much. Is there a different link for the prayer class? Okay, well, I canceled the prayer class. I'll redo the prayer class. You're talking the prayer class that I was supposed to do, right? Yes? So let me make sure that, message me on this number and then you can ask me any of those questions. Let me give you make sure I had the right number on here because sometimes I have too many numbers going on. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that was the right number I gave you all earlier in the chat. You can message me there. All right, God bless you all. I am going to be gone now. See you later. And to all, a good night.